Enola Holmes 2 brings back Millie Bobby Brown as Enola Holmes, little sister to Sherlock Holmes, played by Henry Cavill. Now, much like the first movie, Enola Holmes is still out trying to prove that she is just as good of a detective as her big brother. So she opens her own agency and takes on her first case involving a missing girl. But she quickly finds out this case is much bigger and goes much deeper than she originally anticipated, as it may even have ties with a case that her brother Sherlock is working on. Now, I'm going to start off by saying this. If you like the first Enola Holmes, you're going to like this one. I really enjoyed the first one, and I actually think this one is better, which says a lot because most sequels aren't. There's tons of adventure and action from the very start of the film. The mysteries and conspiracies go even deeper than before, and now Enola has to deal with some emotions and feelings towards a possible love interest, but has to be cautious because she can't let that get in the way of her investigation, so she has to keep her focus and not let this get in the way of her decision making. Now, there's a lot more on her plate in this movie than the first one, and I love the way she deals with it and grows not only as an investigator, but as a woman. And even her brother Sherlock can see it throughout the movie and starts treating her a little bit differently. He's not as protective, although he is still protective because it's his little sister, so he's going to be protective. But he can see that she's growing up and she's making better decisions and pushing forward and pushing past the boundaries and going against the grain in the aspect of being a woman back then. She wasn't allowed to be a detective or have a big profession and stuff like that. So he's seeing the progression and the strides that she's making and starts to treat her accordingly. Now, this sequel still holds on to the same fun tone as the first movie, with Enola breaking the fourth wall a handful of times. And even if you're not a fan of that, I feel like this is done really well and very tastefully, in the sense that I don't feel like the same scene would have been as effective had she not broken that fourth wall. It definitely gives it a more fun, light-hearted, whimsical feel to this adventure. Now, Enola still seems very self-aware that she's new and she doesn't have the experience of Sherlock and that she's making mistakes, and she still pushes through that. She pushes through that mental barrier and pushes through, even though when people are trying to repress her and tell her she can't do that, she shouldn't do this, be more careful, don't overstep your boundaries. She keeps pushing those boundaries because she knows that's the only way that she's going to not be stuck in her brother's shadow. Now, as far as the case itself, I really enjoyed how the case grew, how the details developed, how every clue led to something else. Although that one clue may seem so insignificant and irrelevant, it became more relevant and more important when another piece of evidence showed up and shined a whole new light on it. So what didn't seem significant then is very significant now, and it starts building and building and building in a way that this one small little missing persons case ended up being so much bigger than she thought. It really keeps you on your toes. It keeps your mind reeling. It keeps you trying to put together all the pieces yourself. There's also a handful of new characters that were introduced, and like any good mystery movie, you're not sure who to trust because they're not always the person they present themselves to be at first. So, can I trust this person? Can I not trust that person? Who's in cahoots with who? And then there's this whole new mystery inside of a mystery that you have to unravel. So you're never sure who you can trust and who you can't. Now, I think this movie did a great job starting off with a fun action sequence that also had a bit of mystery behind it. And then it progressed from there into some really good character building. Overall, the movie, I think, had great flow to it. It really kept your attention. You were laughing at comedic scenes. You were at the edge of your seat during action scenes. Or you're even trying to piece together all the clues yourself while she's searching a room, or you're meeting all these other people and trying to analyze their body language and what they're trying to tell you. So it kept you very engaged. It kept you very much focused on the movie. And I had a really good time with this. I love this type of movie. I love this style of movie. that you can bring in a lot of these different aspects of comedy and action and suspense and mystery, and it's all rolled up into one movie, and I think it was done super well. I absolutely love both the first and second film. I think you will as well, so I hope we really get more movies like this. Let me know what your thoughts are of Enola Holmes 2, if you've seen it, if you've seen only the first one, and are you looking forward to seeing the second. Do me a favor, drop a like on the video, hit that subscribe button on your way out if you haven't already. I'm Kevin, and I'll see you at the concession stands.